can be changeable. Whether we have good habits about habits, especially yes, for the one who has a problem with smoking, even they have some kind of nicotine, right? But if they don't have the will, there's no way for them to stop. I met many people, young or old, Vietnamese or American, have this kind of problems. Of course, whenever they see their friends to smoke or carry a whole the cigarette, somehow this is their temptation. They couldn't stop. And so the point is that if they know or recognize with their wisdom, with their understanding that this kind of substances can be harmful for their lung, can be harmful for their liver and so on, or for their internal organs, they would stop. But some of them, they know. They know, yeah, I'm smoking. Yeah, I know it's not bad, it's not good for my lung. But still, they keep up with that kind of habits. And even some of them, they reckon, they know that sooner or later they would harm their own internal organs. But still, it's not easy for them, right? Unless they have strong determinations. Yes.
Buddhists undergo surgery?
Oh, that's an exception. In Buddhism, especially for the monastic life like us, for the monks and nuns, every precept, every moral conduct has exceptions.
Okay.
Not that you have to do this, you have to do that. We have to be flexible. So the Buddha said that if a monk is sick and there's no medicine available except alcohol, yet he can take it. But he needs to tell the Sangha, he needs to tell the communities.
But he does undergo surgery.
Yes.
And prescription drugs.
Yes.
And if a Buddhist develops high blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
he take prescription drugs.
So my point is that every precept has an exception. So as long as it's beneficial for that person, and it doesn't bring any kind of harmful things to others, so no problem. So
one glass of wine might be okay?
okay.
I didn't get you yet.
Actually, I have many people who live in Europe, right? In what is it called? Holland, Belgium, and so on. Somehow they happen to partner of drinking a small cup of wine before they go to sleep. I think this because of the what do you call the habits.
Culture.
The culture, and say that. And it's up to you. If you can control yourself, that's good. You know, but most of the times we go beyond the limits, right? Or many times we go beyond the limits, especially when our friends encourage, okay, go, drink more. You can handle them. And what happened? We drunk. We're gonna control ourselves. So depends. So the point I want to say is that this kind of precept, this kind of moral obligation is not the thing that ties us up. It's not the rope that ties us to stick in one place. This is the ways how to refrain ourselves, how to put us in the fence until we can tame our monkey mind, until we can tame our wild water flow minds. So there is a patriarch. His name is Thich Patriarch, Huinan Thich Patriarch. I don't know whether you know or not. He's the number 6 patriarchs in the Zen traditions. He's after his enlightenment. He said that there's no need to keep precepts because my mind is pure. But for us, it's quite different. We have a lot of emotional problems. We have to follow the rules. We have to follow certain type of moral conduct, especially we live in the communities and in the society. So the point is that when we get used of this kind of moral conduct, it become actually they become us in a natural way. Like of course, because before I became monks, I killed many insects, I kill many small animals too. I remember when it was about 3 or 4 years old, I burned the paper and burned the ants around my house. But of course, at that time, so ignorant that I enjoy that kind of karma. But as long as you understand the precept of not killing, and we abstain from harming this kind of animals, and this become part of our habits. So even our children, when they come to the temples, or even at home, when they see the birds around, they pick them up, bring them out to the garden, or bring them out to the door. So my point is that this one, the taking instance, help us to restrain ourselves from committing this kind of offenses. So as soon as we get used of that, as soon as we get used of this kind of moral conduct, naturally they become us. We don't need to think that, oh, we need to keep this. This is like why we drive in the car, right? When we see the stop sign, automatically we stop. But when we just start to drive the car, right, we tell ourselves, oh, stop sign, we need to stop. At the light, the red light, we need to stop. When we turn to the left, or when turn to the right, we need to turn the signal. But later on, throughout the years, right, this kind of habitual patterns turn on automatically. When we want to turn right, we turn to the right signal. When we turn left, we turn to the left signal. So it becomes part of our life too. Okay, so again, no taking the substance is the way we protect ourselves from having confused mind. Now talking about right livelihood. Yeah. Now in many sutra, the Buddha said that there's 5 traits to be avoided: treating out weapons, treating living beings, treating living beings like even livestock, treating flesh. Nowadays they have what they call human traffic, right? The winter, before last winter, I went to Taiwan to attend that conference, human traffic. Human trafficking in Taiwan, and nowadays is become a problem, especially in the poor countries. Even in my country too, Vietnam. Many people, they trick the young girls, young women, to the other places, and they sell them. It's really sad. So the reason what Buddha say, this is improper, creating intoxicant. Now, one of the important precepts of a Bodhisattva, you remember I told you that there's 53 levels of Bodhisattvas. For us, for monks and for the lay people, we can take the Bodhisattva precepts. And they are the 4 main precepts too. But for this one, the 5th one, besides no taking intoxicant substances, we cannot sell. We cannot sell alcohol, we cannot sell drugs, we cannot sell anything that be harmful to others. That's a major offense for the Bodhisattva. Because
that is for the monks. The first 4 are those for lay people, and then
yeah. Actually, no. This one for everyone, for the lay people too. No taking.
And you're going to tell us what the additional ones for the monks are?
For the Buddhist